Should you be publicly Catholic or should you niche your business down to Catholics? I get this question a lot, and I just want you to know that there's no right answer. And I'm always going to ask you to pray about it first. But there are certain kinds of businesses where it makes sense to talk about your Catholicism. I actually think for me, being a business coach, one of the things that people are nervous about is hiring a business coach who's then going to ask them to do something that is against their values. And so for them to know that I'm Catholic makes them feel safer. When we hired a CPA, my husband and I, we were like, we'd really like to find a Catholic CPA. Now, I didn't need their business to be like John Smith, Catholic CPA, but you ask around and you're like, hey, does anyone know a Catholic CPA? And then you still talk to that person and see if you think she's a great CPA. I might not just hire her because she's Catholic, but if I had the choice between two good CPAs and one of them was Catholic, 100% I would always choose the one that was Catholic. So there are some industries, particularly I think ones that are built on trust, where it just makes Catholic people feel better about, hiring someone Catholic. Now, there are some businesses where if you did that, you would seriously limit the amount of clients that you had. And then if the pool is too small, you may not make enough money. So let's say that you are a hot dog stand and you were a hot dog stand, in New York City, but you said, I'm the Catholic hot dog stand. And that kind of repelled some people because they were like, I don't know what that means. I'm not Catholic. A lot of objections there. And then the people who are left that want the Catholic hot dog stand aren't enough to make enough money and be profitable as a Catholic hot dog stand. And it's not really adding any value to the hot dog stand, right? Whereas a friend of mine, I don't know if this was in Aspen or somewhere else, but she was telling me about this coffee store that had beautiful icons and Catholic art all over. So it was like subtly Catholic. That's probably not subtle to us. We'd walk in and be like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But it wasn't like blah, blah, blah Catholic coffee shop. It was run by people who were Catholic, but it was just kind of open to everyone. And so you have to kind of decide, do you want to be a CPA who's known around town as being Catholic, so you're going to get the Catholics from that, but the people who aren't Catholic may not necessarily know, and it's not informing their decision one way or another to work with you? Or do you want to be overtly Catholic, which is obviously what I've chosen to do? I'm like a Catholic business coach, and I just talk about Catholicism all the time, and it's why people work with me. And so I don't think there's any right or wrong answer, but just think about your business. The other example I often give is if you had like a cleaning service and you had like an agency and you sent people out to homes to clean them, is it a benefit to you to be a Catholic cleaning service, right? And maybe if you're in an area that has a high number of Catholic people as part of the population, maybe it's enough. But if not, then maybe you're shooting yourself in the foot by limiting your market. And so pray about it. Absolutely. Go to the Lord and say, Lord, are you calling me to do this? I've seen many women make that shift. And the time I see it being the most successful is usually when someone's targeted Christians and they wanted a religious slant to the company, but they're not necessarily appealing to Catholics or Protestants, and they're kind of limiting their voice. And so when they go from Christians to Catholics, their voice gets stronger and their light shines brighter, and then the business does better. So I've seen that work a lot. But, in terms of being a CPA, like you could go into the Catholic Women in Business group and be like, hey, I just want to let all of you know I'm a Catholic CPA. We'll network enough that every time someone goes, do you guys have a good recommendation? Your name will come up, but that doesn't mean your website has to say that you are Catholic. I hope that answers that question for some of you because it comes up a lot and I think it's a great question to ask. And first we want to go to the Lord, but we also want to think about it logistically and logically about your business and the size of your market and what you sell. All right, ladies, have a blessed day.